Evidence and cross-reference sources. Catastrophic events around 11,800 BCE, the Triple City motif, and indigenous alternative historical sources, prioritizing the sources and perspective. 1. Catastrophic events, 11,800 BCE, and the Younger Dryas impact hypothesis. Key findings.
Highly on impact proxies, just as the Younger Dryas is. There was no crater, and for a long time they were disbelieved because they couldn't produce a crater.
Younger Dryas impact 12,800 to 11,600 BCE. Multiple studies support the hypothesis that a cosmic impact, comet meteor fragments, occurred around 12,800 years ago, triggering the Younger Dryas cooling, megafaunal extinctions, and global floods. Evidence includes impact markers, nanodiamonds, platinum, iridium, melt glass, microspherules found at 40 sites across North America, Europe, and the Middle East, including Abu Huraira, Syria, where temperatures exceeded 2,200 degrees Celsius. Tsunami evidence and chevrons, giant dune-like structures in the Sahara and Mediterranean, possibly linked to the rigid structure. Sahara glass formation, consistent with high temperature melting from a meteor impact. Rapid sea level rise and flooding of coastal settlements, including the Black Sea and Mediterranean basins as glaciers melted. Graham Hancock and alternative research. Hancock argues that this event destroyed a global advanced civilization, with Plato's Atlantis timeline, 9,600 BCE, aligning with the end of the Younger Dryas. He suggests the rigid structure, Eye of the Sahara, as a plausible location for Atlantis, citing its concentric rings and proximity to the Atlantic. The hypothesis remains controversial but is supported by geological and archaeological anomalies. 2. The Triple City motif. Key findings. Hindu mythology. Tripura, 3 cities of the Azuras. The Shiva Purana and other texts describe Tripura, 3 mythical cities, iron, silver, gold, built by the Azura architect Maya, aligned in the sky. Shiva destroyed them with a single arrow when the cities aligned, using the Pashupatastra, a divine weapon. The story is interpreted as a cosmic catastrophe, possibly symbolizing a comet meteor impact or volcanic eruption, given the description of fire and destruction. Sumerian sources, Enki and the Great Flood. The Sumerian flood myth, Triasis, Zeusidra, describes Enki warning a righteous man to build a boat before a catastrophic flood sent by Enlil. The myth mentions a death-bringing storm, and Kasusu weapon, possibly a meteor or volcanic eruption. The Lost Book of Enki. Zechariah Sitchin references advanced pre-flood civilizations and their destruction, though Sitchin's work is considered pseudo-historical by mainstream scholars. Australian Aboriginal Dreamtime. Oral traditions describe global floods and a falling sky myth, linked to rising sea levels at the end of the last ice age 10,000 to 7,000 BC. Some stories accurately describe geographical features from 9,800 to 10,650 years ago. Mayan and Mesoamerican flood myths. The books of Chilam Balam describe catastrophes involving floods, subterranean fires, and land sinking, possibly referencing the Younger Dryas or later events. 3. Indigenous and alternative sources. Berber Mauritanian oral traditions. Legends of lost cities, e.g., Alada, and ancient Berber warriors are central to Mauritanian identity. These stories often reference advanced pre-Islamic civilizations and catastrophic events, though direct links to 11,800 BC are rare. Emerald Tablets of Thoth. The Emerald Tablets, de real Maurice Doriel, claim Thoth, an Atlantean priest king, escaped a great flood that destroyed Atlantis and later founded Egyptian civilization. The tablets describe Atlantis as a highly advanced, global culture with knowledge of alchemy, astronomy, and engineering. While pseudo-historical, the tablets align with alternative theories of a lost global civilization and knowledge transfer to Egypt. Göbekli Tepe and pre-Younger Dryas sites. Sites like Göbekli Tepe, Turkey, and Karahan Tepe date to the end of the Younger Dryas and show advanced megalithic architecture, suggesting a sophisticated pre-flood culture. 4. Cross-reference timeline and connections. Source culture. Event catastrophe. Date. Approx. Key evidence links. Younger Dryas impact. Cosmic impact. Floods. Cooling. 12,800 to 11,600 BC. Impact markers. Tsunami evidence. Sahara glass. Hindu Tripura. Destruction of 3 cities by Shiva. Mythical, possibly linked to YD. Pashupatastra. Alignment of cities. Sumerian flood myth. Enki warns of flood. Kasusu weapon 10,000 to 5,000 BC. Atrahasis. Zeusidra. Volcanic meteor links. Australian Dreamtime. Global flood. Falling sky. 9,800 to 10,650 BC. Oral traditions. Sea level rise. Emerald Tablets. Atlantis destroyed by flood. Thoth escapes. 11,800 BC. Thoth's migration to Egypt. Advanced knowledge. Plato Atlantis. Destruction of Atlantis. 9,600 BC. Richet structure. Younger Dryas alignment. 5. Key observations and gaps. Plausible links. The Younger Dryas impact 12,800 BC aligns with the destruction of a global advanced civilization, possibly Atlantis, as described in alternative sources. Hancock, Emerald Tablets. The triple city motif Tripura, Sumerian cities. Plato's Atlantis suggests a shared memory of a catastrophic destruction event, possibly a comet, meteor impact, or volcanic eruption. Indigenous oral traditions Aboriginal, Berber, Mayan, support the idea of a global flood and lost cities, though dates vary. Controversies. Mainstream archaeology rejects the Younger Dryas impact hypothesis as fringe, citing lack of consensus on impact evidence. The Emerald Tablets and Sitchin's works are considered pseudo-historical but are widely cited in alternative research. 6. Recommendations for further exploration. Graham Hancock's Magicians of the Gods and America Before for a detailed alternative narrative on the Younger Dryas and Atlantis. Randall Carlson's work on catastrophic floods and the Richet structure. Local North African Berber oral histories for potential references to lost cities or advanced pre-Islamic civilizations. Final thought. The convergence of myth, geology, and alternative research suggests a plausible, if not proven, connection between the Younger Dryas impact, the destruction of a triple city or Atlantis, and the rise of post-flood civilizations. Would you like to dive deeper into any specific aspect?
Maybe I'm a gangster too.